everybody? This is Lord Tremendous again. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle. Lord Tremendous, that's me, versus Prince Flemface, also Warriors of Chaos. So yeah, it's it's a rematch, another Warriors versus Warriors. And yeah, it's the big troll using guy. So sit back, relax, and get ready to see just glorious bloodbath. This is my list. There's been a little change, nothing huge, but let's see if you notice it. My lord is still the Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous. He's still the Mark of Tzeentch, level 4 wizard. Was still wearing Chaos Armor with wings, Charm Shield, Dragonbane Gem, Other Trickster's Shard, the Demon Blade, Scaled Skin, Soul Feeder, and he uses Lore of Tzeentch. His hero buddies are the Exalted Hero, Tardum, the Herald of Tzeentch. He's got the Mark of Tzeentch. He's got a BSB. He's still on his Barded Demonic Mount with a Halberd. He's got the Talisman of Preservation, Poisonous Slime, and Third Eye of Tzeentch. And I got rid of the Potion of Foolhardiness because I forget to use the stupid thing all the time, and I decided to put points elsewhere. I've got a Chaos Sorcerer still, Ashigus the Muse. He's Mark Slaanesh. He's on a Steed of Slaanesh, the Slickness. He's a level 2 wizard using the Enchanted Shield, Skull of Catan, Talisman of Endurance, and he uses Lore Slaanesh. And yes, that's because he's awesome. For my core, I've got my 24 by Chaos Warriors with the Mark of Tzeentch, full command, hand weapon shields, and they now have the Banner of Eternal Flame because 18 by Horde Brick of Trolls scared the H out of me. So yeah, that's the way it is, and that's the way it's going to be. I switched around some points, and I got 5 Warhounds with poison attacks because I realized I needed a chaff unit. I did. I finally come around. Got to steal my 2 chariots, one Mark Tzeentch and one Mark Slaanesh. The Slaanesh one is Orcish Elegance because orcs are pretty. My special choices are my 3 by Trolls with extra hand weapons, my Chimera with poison and regen, and my 5 Hellstriders, the Pleasure Riders, with Banner Musician, Spears, and Shields. And of course, my rare choice, the Mutalith Vortex. Gotta love the beast, right? My opponent's army, he's still using his Demon Prince, Mark Nurgle. He's a level 4 wizard. He's got Chaos Armor with wings. He uses the Dawnstone, which was a little shocking. He's got a Chaos Familiar, Scaly Skin, Soul Feeder, Poisonous Slime, and he uses the Lore Nurgle. It was definitely an interesting build. And the only hero choice he has other than that is an Exalted Hero. He's the Mark of Nurgle. He's on a Demonic Mount, and he's got... what's it called? The Glittering Scales Armor, and that's that further -1 to hit. So with Mark Nurgle and Glittering Scales, he's you're -2 to hit him. It's ridiculous. And of course he's the BSB, so it is what it is. And his mount is Barded. So yeah, it was interesting because he only had a 4-up armor save. With the light armor and Barded mount, 4-up armor. That was it for Nurgle Mount Mark BSB, but it was that -2 to hit. Well, you'll see. You'll see. His core, he had that 28 by unit of Marauders with a Mark of Khorne. He added a Musician this time, and they still have the great weapons. Then he had a brick of 20 Chaos Warriors with Mark of Nurgle, Banner, Musician, Hand Weapon, and Shield. And then he had 18 by Chaos Warriors with the Mark of Khorne, a Banner, Musician, Halberd, Shields, and the Banner of Swiftness to make a movement 5? Yeah, something like that. And of course, the special unit, 18 Horde Brick of Trolls, which are, of course, in the background. And he added extra hand weapons to him because 60 attacks isn't ridiculous with Trolls. No, it's just not. It's not. Ah, Trolls, I hate you. Here are my spells, 4 from Tzeentch, 2 from Slaanesh, and of course the Mutalith spell, but there's no card for the Mutalith, so I just imply it. Here are his spells, all 5 from the Lore Nurgle, and he got all the good ones. So yeah. Here's deployment. As you can see, we just kind of square off against each other. Not a whole lot going on there. My chariots are flanking my warriors to give them support. The Chimera, I figured would be great to go into the Khorne Brick. The Mutalith is set up to try to shoot his spell off at the Marauders because they're toughness 3. I got my BSB centralized with his troll posse with him. and I've got my dog set up to try to redirect the trolls as soon as possible. And the Demon Prince is in the back, just waiting to see where he needs to go. My opponent, I don't know exactly what his strategy was, but yeah, as you can see, he's got his trolls on the flank. Is that Slan model in the back? That's his Demon Prince because he forgot his Demon Prince at home. So we proxied. I know. I've already called the president. But yeah, here's his right flank, and as you can see, there's the 18 by trolls with extra hand weapons and his BSB on the demonic mount attached. On the hill right there is 28 marauders with great weapons. Mark Korn. In the back behind them, the Slan model, there's his, what's it called, his Nurgle Demon Prince. And then the 20 by brick of Nurgle Warriors with hand weapon shield. And then, of course, his center it consists of an 18 by brick of Khorne Warriors with halberds and shields. My right flank / center, there's my Hellstriders with Ashakis running up the flank there. Didn't get great spells for him against this particular army, but still, it's Hellstriders. I can get into his back and I can harass. And with the Skullikatam, he's very useful. I love that rolling 6 dice. And who cares if his leadership goes down? He's Mark Slaanesh and a unit Mark Slaanesh with Hellstriders. If he gets into combat, it's a combat that I've chosen. So whoop-de-doo. Skullikatam all day. And then, of course, there's my Chimera. Look at them. And then the Gorby's chariot is actually just a regular chariot Mark Tzeentch. I know, I'm working on getting it. There's my brick of warriors right there next to them. And then on my left flank, there's my unit of dogs, my trolls with BSB, the Mulith Vortex. And of course the other Slaanesh chariot, Orcish Elegance, and my Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous. So here's top of 1 after movement. As you can see, he got to go first because, yeah, with 5 placements, he's going to get the +1 almost always. And yeah, so he went first, and there was no subtlety. It's Warriors of Chaos versus Warriors of Chaos. He moved forward a lot. So yeah, during his magic phase, he got a couple of things off. Nothing that I thought was really that big of a deal. There's Miasma Pestilence, just the low one. He was just trying to roll for the lore attribute. If you recall from the last game, he was able to roll 3 6s on 3 spells and get toughness 8, 7 wounds on his Demon Prince top of turn 1. Not this game though. He got the spell off. I really didn't care, and he didn't roll it. Over here against the trolls, he got Fleshy Abundance off on them, but I had no intention of shooting at him or anything like that. So I let it go, and he didn't roll a 6. So finally, math is starting to work like it's supposed to again. Over here, yeah, there was no shooting, so we went over to bottom of 1. And as you can see, my Chimera and my Tzeentch Chariot charged into the brick of Khorne Warriors. And I thought that was a pretty good matchup because although we were going to be striking after him and hitting on 4s, I really didn't care. I figured with the amount of wounds I'm putting out, impact hits, strength 5 attacks, and then the Chimera's, put 7 to 9 attacks plus Thunderstomp. I figured not only was I going to knock the frenzy out of him, I could possibly break the unit because we were going to put a lot of wounds onto him. So I thought it was a good throw. The dogs ran up in front of the trolls just to kind of, redirect them and keep them away from me as long as possible because I wanted to take care of the rest of his army before I had to deal with that huge brick of trolls. So that was the plan. Here's a closer look at the Chariot Chimera charge. Prepare to die, warriors. And then we went over to Magic, and my Mutilus spell goes off on the Marauders, as planned. Unfortunately, I roll... Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. It was great that it went off. But I got the number 3 one, the stat transformation one, and I roll 3 toughness checks for him. He rolls 2 3s and a 1, so he makes all of his toughness checks. And then I up his weapon skill by 1, and I lower his ballistic skill by 1. So all I did was buff the Marauders for the rest of the game. And win some, lose some, right? They're only Marauders, but yeah, that was kind of funny. Now they're weapon skill 5 Marauders, so you're welcome? I really don't know. And then we go into combat, because the rest of my magic phase wasn't very impressive. And yeah, the Chariot takes a wound, and that was fine. But the warriors with minimal attacks hit and wound a Chimera 4 times. So I'm thinking, oh, well, that's no big deal. I got a 6-up armor and a 4-up regen. I'm set. I miss all the armor saves, and I miss every 4-up regen, and the Chimera dies before I can do anything. Totally didn't see that coming. Totally didn't expect it. Here I am thinking math is working the way it's supposed to work again, and no, it's not. So my Chimera dies. I only do like 2 or 3 wounds to these warriors, and I lose combat. And the chariot flees, and at this point, I'm just trying to figure out what happened. How did I screw that up? And you know what? I'm confident that it wasn't my fault. It was the dice fault, and they have been severely talked to. Trust me, I used big words and I used some smaller words, and I won't repeat them just yet. But yeah, I fled. I got away, but it's unfortunate that the Chimera died before he could do anything. It was disappointing. Khorne would have been thrilled, though. The Khorne warriors didn't lose their friends. Oh, just stomach turning, you know what I mean? So anyway, that was all I wanted to do on my turn. So we went to top of turn 2. And as you can see, the trolls took the bait and went into the dogs. I think the Marauders tried to charge something. I'm not 100% on that, but they didn't make it. And the Khorne Warriors tried to charge the Chariot, failed to catch the Chariot, so they redirected into my Warriors, and he failed his charge. So they moved up just a little bit, which put them in good position for me. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, there's the trolls slamming into the dogs, and for 35 points to redirect that 700-point unit, 900-point unit, whatever it is, since the trolls were almost 700 and the BSBs around 220, 240. So yeah, to redirect that unit with 35 points, and to keep them away from me for another turn, outstanding. Totally worth it. Glad I brought the dogs. So his magic phase isn't that big of a deal. I don't even bother taking pictures, and he has no shooting, so we go to combat. And yeah, he pukes 18 times onto the dogs and drowns them in bile. And yeah, you could barely hear them scream. And there's the dice in the corner there to show how many 2-ups he hit the dogs on. Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. Yeah. We called that animal abuse hotline on this guy. Don't worry, he's going to jail. Any of you PETA fans I might have, don't worry. We called on the trolls. They're in trouble. So after that, we went to bottom of 2, and yeah, as always, I charged. The Mutalith and the BSB and Trolls charged the Marauders. The BSB and the Trolls made it. The Mutalith failed his charge. I rolled like a 2 or a 3. It was bad. So the Mutalith didn't make it into the Marauders, but the Trolls and the BSB did. My Demon Prince went into the Nurgle Warriors because with the Demon Blade and just the Thunderstomps, I figured even though I'm hitting him on 4s, I've still probably got that unit hands down. The Slaanesh Hellstriders, they flew up the side there to go and just throw whatever they could at whatever they could. Just why not? And then the Warriors and the remaining Chariot, the Orcish Elegance one, slammed into the Khorne Warriors to try to get revenge for the Chimera and the Coward Tzeentch Chariot. And of course, my Chariot rallied this turn. So here I am. I should be more confident about this combat. I'm not because of what happened last round. So prepare to die. I really don't know if it's going to work out. Over here, yeah, there's the trolls. The salamanders are my proxy until I get my trolls in the mail. And then, of course, my new BSB model. There's no banner on them yet because I'm waiting for my wife to paint it before I put the banner on there. But it's going to look really cool. Don't you worry about that. And then there's the Demon Prince. And yeah, it's pretty obvious the way this one's going to go. It's really the Demon Prince just has to try to hold his breath as long as he can because Nurgle Warriors are pew. Just to ensure, I really wanted the Marauders to break because I have nothing but contempt for Marauders. So during my magic phase, I was able to force through Treason and Tzeentch on them, which makes them use their leadership 7. Can't use the BSB, can't use the General's leadership. I really like that. So that's what I used on them, and I got it off. It was awesome. So we go into combat, and I started off with the Warriors and Chariot because, like a Band-Aid, you just want to get it over with quick. And of course, the Warriors go first because they got miasma off again. And they do 4 wounds to my Chariot again, and I don't make 1 5-up armor save. Not one. So the Chariot's dead. It does its impact hits. It did like 3 or 4 impact hits. But yeah, before I could do anything with the Chariot's attacks, it just died. Those Khorne Warriors with the halberds, they did really well this game. However, my Tzeentch Warriors, even though they took 4 wounds, don't even ask. I was able to put another 5 onto him with my Warriors and win the combat. He was not steadfast. They lose their frenzy, and they broke and fled. They get away, but we got them. So mission accomplished there. I felt pretty good about that. And then, ooh, wait, no, that might not have been this round. I think he might have made his break test this round. So, yeah, sorry, spoiler. But yeah, over here against the Marauders, exactly what you think happens. The trolls go crazy. I think they take one wound for their trouble, and my BSB just myrtleizes them. There's no one for him to challenge. So yeah, it just. I think I killed eight or nine altogether, and that was glorious. They lost combat, did not roll a 7, and they got ran down. And as the overrun, I overrun into his Demon Prince, which I wasn't too worried about. My BSB has a 2-up, 3-up with rerolling ones for ward save, so I figured he could take whatever the Demon Prince could dish out. And the trolls, they just made him steadfast because it was a rank. So yeah, I wasn't worried about this combat. I just knew that I wasn't going to win it. It was just going to be one of those things. I'm keeping his Demon Prince out of any other combat. So for bottom of 2, not terrible. Here's top of 3 during movement. Yeah, the Warriors and my Warriors and his Warriors still in combat. Sorry, spoiler. I forgot to take a picture of it, but my Demon Prince did a bunch of wounds to the Nurgle Warriors. I think I killed 4 or 5. They're steadfast and they stayed. But during his turn, his trolls passed their stupidity check, no problem. Charged my Mutalith, and the Mutalith fled, got away. They ended up going like 2 or 3 inches, so they're still holding back. They're out of this game, which is good. Other than that, nothing changed because everything's in combat. And he's got a smaller army. His magic, I don't remember doing anything interesting. I didn't take any pictures, so it couldn't have been that interesting. But yeah, he slips a wound through. He did like 2 or 3 wounds to me, and I rolled 1, 2. So yeah, he got 1 through. So the BSB is 1/3 dead. But we win combat, and nobody cares. Up against the Khorne Warriors, we're both a little tired. I think I only killed 1, maybe two, no, I killed 2 Khorne Warriors. He killed 1 of mine. With 2 ranks, banner and a wound to his banner and a wound. I win combat. He's not steadfast. He breaks and gets away by an inch. So Tzeentch is greater than Khorne, but Khorne is faster than Tzeentch. So yeah. At least they're not frenzy anymore, and at least they're fleeing, and they're below 25%. So I wasn't overly concerned about them rallying. Over here, the Demon Prince continues to just beat the crud out of the Nurgle Warriors, which is fine. Tzeentch isn't all that fond of Nurgle, so they're now half dead. But of course, they're still steadfast and they stick it out. So bottom of 3 after movement, the Mutalith rallies. The Hellstriders turn to face the Khorne Warriors that are fleeing because I'm not overly confident that they're going to rally on Snake Eyes, but I didn't want to take the chance, so I turned the Hellstriders around since I really couldn't do anything else anyway to charge them off the table, or at least catch them and run them down. Meanwhile, my chariot tried to charge the warriors that the Demon Prince were in and failed his charge. I needed like a 6 and I rolled a 4. It was disheartening. But yeah, the Mutalith has turned around, so that's always good. During my magic phase, I got treason off on the trolls. I figured that's one more way to keep them out of this fight. Make them take their stupidity check on leadership 4 with no rerolls. Hell yeah. Ashikis, not to be outdone, fired off his 2 spells at the fleeing warriors and killed 2, which just further made them, smaller, easier to run down, bite-sized, if you will. So that was cool. And the Demon Prince in combat kills another 3, and then there were 7. So yeah, it's working out quite nicely over here. Over here, with the Demon Prince, the BSB, and the Trolls, nothing happens. He makes all his armor saves, I make all my ward saves, and we win by 1. He doesn't care. So, top of 4, after movement. As you can see, the Trolls fail their stupidity check. Nothing changes in the middle of the board, and his warriors fail to rally and run 11 inches towards the board edge. They wanted to get the hell out of there. Yep, stupid, treacherous trolls. They went forward 1 inch, so almost no movement for them whatsoever. There's the Khorne Warriors trying to get away. Luckily, they're still in the charge arc of my Hellstriders, which is awesome. During his magic phase, though, he throws a little bit of a snafu in there. He gets Curse of Leper off on those Nurgle Warriors, making it a little tougher for me to wound him. Instead of 2s, now I need 5s. However, we go into combat, and I'm an effing Demon Prince, dude. What are you thinking about? 3 more guys fall. He's no longer steadfast, but he still sticks it out. So that was disappointing, but he did make it. Other than that, the combat between the Demon Prince and my BSB, Continues with the slap boxing thing. We don't do anything to each other because his armor save compared to my ward save, it's I win combat, he doesn't care. So here's bottom of 4 after movement. The warriors have now slammed into the flank of the Nurgle warriors just to get rid of them. Once again, I reposition my chariot to get ready to deal with the trolls. The Hellstriders charge and catch the Khorne warriors, and I think I went 22 inches. I think I rolled boxcars, so they went 22 inches. They're off the board now, but they'll be back next turn. And yeah, I'm just starting to worry about what I'm going to do against the trolls. There's a picture of where the Hellstriders kind of ended up after taking out the Khorne warriors, because at this point I know I need points. Here's a picture of the Tzeentch warriors getting into the Nurgle warriors, so that's awesome. A lot more combat res. And yeah, magic was unimpressive, so we went over to, I think I got treason off on the trolls again. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, we go into combat. I lose a warrior. I think I kill another 2 of the Nurgle warriors. They break, they flee, and my Demon Prince does not go after them. My warriors do, and the warriors catch them. And they end up 1 inch away from the Demon Prince. The Demon Prince just turns to face the trolls, because I know it's coming. And over here, we continue to just beat on each other's armor and ward save. Nothing can be done. And that's pretty much what we expected. Over here, top of 5. Yeah, the trolls. I did not get treason off last turn. I tried, he stopped it, and the trolls passed their stupidity check and charge into my Demon Prince. So now my Demon Prince is up against, the trolls. I'm not too worried about it because I figure I can take his BSB. I didn't know what he was kitted out with. So it was interesting. I was worried, though, because I knew once I killed off his BSB, those trolls were going to just puke my Demon Prince to death, and that was going to suck. During his magic phase, he gets a couple more spells off, Fleshy Abundance and Miasma Pestilence. Just a small one, but... So yeah, definitely worried about the trolls and BSB, especially now that he's gotten Fleshy Abundance and Miasma Pestilence off. Not that the Miasma Pestilence is really going to affect my Demon Prince at all. I'm still higher initiative and weapon skill than he is, but the Fleshy Abundance, now they're on a 3-up regen, and now, of course, his BSB, who only had a 4-up armor save, which I was unaware of, now has a 5-up regen, which actually saves his butt. So, yeah. Live and learn, right? So we go over to this, and during his magic phase, when he was getting his spells off, he actually finally rolled a 6. So now his Demon Prince is toughness 6 with 5 wounds, and I've done nothing to him, and he's done 1 to me. So we go into combat. We do the BSB one first against his Demon Prince, and he slips 2 more wounds through. I rolled 2 2s. What can you do? You got my BSB. It was unexpected, but unfortunate. The trolls are still within range of my Demon Prince, so they're stubborn 9, and they make their break test, but it's like, oh, man! That wasn't supposed to happen. So I'm down to BSB. That sucks. We go over into this combat, and I don't know what's going on with my dice. I don't know what's going on here at all. His BSB swings his 4 little attacks at me and gets 2 wounds past. He goes right past my armor save, right past my ward, and 2 wounds get through, and I do nothing to him. I think 1 wound hit him, and he regened it on a 5-up. I was just like, what's going on? Luckily, my Demon Prince is unbreakable, but oh man, that was unexpected. So my Demon Prince is half dead, my BSB is dead. Mass hysteria, So with all I can do being over, or all we can do is over, we go to bottom of 5, and my warriors, I realize they can't charge the trolls, so they just they try to do a swift reform and fail. So they just turn and face. And yeah, my Mutalith and my remaining chariot move over to flank charge the trolls, with the warriors getting ready to charge into the front there, I guess, because they have the flaming banner. So I'm hoping that they can do something. The Hellstriders come back on to just kind of watch, and the trolls accept their fate and start getting ready to, vomit all over the opponent's Demon Prince. I'm able to get treason off on the trolls again, and the hope with that was win combat by 1. That's all I needed to do here. I needed to kill the BSB and win combat by 1. and I'd have been set. The game would have been over, and I knew it, and I knew it, and that was my opportunity right there. Over here, we went over into combat, and one troll, he does 4 wounds, and only one got through, and the one troll was already carrying 2 wounds, so he died. The other 2 trolls puke on him, but don't hurt him because they need 5s, and neither of them are able to wound him. But they make their break test off the Demon Prince's leadership, so it worked out fine. Oh yeah, and I didn't get a picture of it, but my Demon Prince versus his BSB and stuff like that, I don't do anything. In fact, the Demon Blade finally starts biting me in the rear. Let me just say first about the Demon Blade. In the combat versus Nurgle Warriors, I was getting tons of extra attacks. I was just rolling poorly to hit. Needing 3s to hit, I was rolling a lot of 2s. Or needing 4s to hit. I was rolling a lot of 2s and 3s, so it was unfortunate that I was missing so much, but the Demon Blade really helped out. And I wasn't rolling that many 1s, so even when I did, I was able to either not wound myself or save it with armor and ward. So it really worked out great. When I got into the combat with the BSB and the trolls, the Demon Blade finally turned on me. And while I didn't I didn't do any wounds to the BSB because he was just rolling out of box. I think 1 wound ended up getting through in the end. But yeah, I put 2 wounds on myself during that last combat. I ward saved 1, didn't armor save any of them. Ward saved 1, lost combat, and I needed to win that combat with treason on him, and I failed. So yeah, we go to the top of turn 6, and as you can see, nothing changes because my opponent is completely in combat. He doesn't move or do anything. During his magic phase, he gets Fleshy Abundance off, I guess, again. And there's nothing I could have done about that, unfortunately. I think I tried to stop it, and I just rolled like butt. It happens, you know. What can you do when the dice turn on you? But my Demon Prince is sitting on 1 wound, and I'm really nervous at this point, so we go into combat. And of course, I strike first. I get like 7 attacks. Swing on him. I wound him 3 times, but he makes all of his regen saves or whatever they were. And I hurt myself. I hit myself twice. I rolled 2 1s. So I roll to wound myself. Of course, I wound with both. I miss both armor saves. I make 1 ward save, and my Demon Prince dies. There is no Zinch. There is only fail. It's like, damn. So yeah. Yeah, the Demon Blade bit me in the butt, but to be perfectly honest with you, even if I didn't have the Demon Blade, I'd have still been stuck in that stupid combat with the Nurgle Warriors, and it would have been just as bad. So I'm not complaining. I like the Demon Blade. It's my own fault. I'm rolling poorly at this point, so I'm not. I'm still a big fan of the Demon Blade. I'm not taking it out of the list yet. This one didn't work out for me, but it could have just as easily gone the other way if I could have just rolled. And of course, with the BSB's kit out, I needed 5s to hit them because normally I would have needed 3s. Mark Nurgle made it 4s, and then Glittering Scales made it 5s, and I just couldn't roll those 5s. I was not hitting them enough. And then when I did hit him, it wasn't sticking because of Fleshy Abundance. He was rolling his 5s to make his regen. So it was what it was, you know. I can't win them all. So went over to the Trolls combat. He did 3 wounds. They all 3 got through because again I'm rolling really low now. And I need snakes to stay because the Demon Prince is dead. And let's face it, Trolls leadership 4. All you really have to do is hiccup at them, and they need snakes. And I roll snakes. So yeah, the crazy Trolls are solid, or Troll I should say. The other ones are dead. But yeah, he sticks it out, and he's like, I'm not done puking on you, buddy. So we go to bottom of 6, and I have no choice. I have to send the Warriors, the Chariot, and the Mutalith in to try to break these Trolls. Treason is gone now, so I've got to just hope that I can get them to roll a 9 twice, or a 10 twice and break. But what else could I do? I was out of ideas. I knew they were going to puke all over me. I knew they were going to do a ton of wounds, but I had the Flaming Banner on my Warriors, so I was hoping against hope. Yeah, just it was the long shot. If I could break them, I'd win. If not, I was losing anyway. So it was either lose or lose more. And so yeah, there's no magic because all I had was direct damage and magic missiles on my Slaanesh character, so there was nothing for him to target. So I just went into combat and I take my fear check for the warriors and I roll a 9 and they're scared. They're now weapon skill 1. Oh, I was upset. Deep down inside, my inner child died a little bit. So it is what it is. You can't win them all, but yeah, I rolled a 9. They failed their fear check, and now they're weapon skill 1. So any hope at this point that I had of possibly pulling this one out is extinguished with that roll. So we go through the combat, and it's exactly the way you would think it was going to go down. My unit champion has to issue a challenge. The BSB has to accept. But it was interesting because my unit champion actually made his saves. His BSB wasn't able to kill off my unit champion. My unit champion, obviously needing 6s, wasn't able to hurt him at all. But he stuck it out, so he didn't give up any what's it called? He didn't give up any combat res, which was nice. My warriors hit and wounded maybe once or twice. I mean, I did almost no wounds. My chariot and my Mulith rolled a 1 for his attacks. I only had 3 attacks. Granted, the 1 wound I got through stopped his regen, but I was rolling like pure butt. The Mulith and the Chaos Chariot didn't do anything. The few impact hits that I did, he was able to regen save all of them. So it was just disheartening. And I lose combat. I break. All 3 units break, and the warriors get away. The chariot runs off the table, and the Mutalith is right at the table edge. He's got maybe an inch, because if you see that wood border, we actually use the wood border as part of the table, so you have to actually be off the table in order to be off table. And yeah, I know you don't care, but I'm going to tell you about it anyway. So yeah, the Mutalith is fleeing, the Chaos Warriors are fleeing, and the chariot flees off the table. So yeah, it couldn't have gone any better for my opponent there. It's disheartening, but it was a Hail Mary pass, and that's why it's called a Hail Mary pass, because it's probably not going to work out. So yeah, but the trolls, I puke on him. I do a wound. It gets through, so he's down to 4 wounds. Yay! But he does a. No, that was last turn. So this turn, he doesn't do anything. Or maybe he does a wound. I don't know. Somehow he wins by 1. I don't recall how. He must have done a wound, and I just didn't put a marker down. But he wins by 1. I need a 3 to stay, and I roll a 3. So that little troll, you know what it was? That troll knew that I was losing and that his army was destroyed. So he was trying to prove himself to the opponent Demon Prince so that he could join the big horde of trolls that he had, because I did kill 1 troll. So that must have been it. But yeah, that was the end of turn 6. The game is over. Here's what the board looks like at the end of the game, and it's a travesty. It really is. But yeah, I couldn't do anything against trolls. My fault, completely my fault. I take full responsibility. But what a fun game! What a fun game. A lot of really new things seen. His Demon Prince having the Dawnstone, that shocked me. Instead of he comes with the built-in 5-up ward, but I'm so used to seeing the common kit out of Charm Shield, Dragonbane Gem, and either Sword of Striking or other Trickster Shard, which is what I use, and then your typical whatever for mutations and chaos gifts. He went out of the box. He went outside the box and went with the Dawnstone, and it was impressive. It worked. Now, granted, he gets hit by a cannonball or something like that. He's SOL, but he doesn't have to really worry about that against me, So it was interesting. Kind of a cool kit out. The re-rolling armor saves thing really saved him a lot, especially against my BSB. So yeah, also I decided in this game that my BSB is now going to be equipped with a great weapon, because Strength 7 really would have come into play here. And with his 2-up armor, 3-up ward, he can weather most attacks. He held on against the Demon Prince for multiple rounds of combat, so Strength 7 really would have been a lot better. So yeah, I learned something in this game too. And then of course his BSB only having the 4-up armor save really shocked me, but that double negative to hit was really the kicker, and even against my Demon Prince saved him from a lot of extra wounds. In fact, I rolled a 6 and 4 4s at one point, and I was under the impression that the 4s hit until he was like, no, glittering scales, you need 5s to hit. I mean, almost anything else is going to need 6s to hit, because how many things out there are higher than weapon skill 7? Even other exalted heroes are going to need 6s to hit this guy. So it's really a genius kit. Unless you're rolling out of the box, you're not going to hit him all that often. And he's toughness 5 with 3 wounds. The 4-up armor sucks, but it's still an impressive kit out. Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoyed this game. I learned a few things. Changing out my kit for my BSB, like I said, instead of Halberd, he's getting a great weapon. And in my unit of Slanesh guy, or I'm sorry, my Slanesh sorcerer Ashicus, I'm dropping his Talisman of Endurance, and I'm going to give him the Ruby Ring of Ruin just for the Fireball spell, just for when I run into regen units like this, so I can actually start doing some stuff to him. And then, of course, I'll give him the Luck Stone or something like that, so his 1-up armor save, the first fail is rerollable. But yeah, all in all, a very interesting game, very hard game. Quick timeout. Here's the banners. Look at the banners. You want the banners? Banners, banners, banners. Get you some banners. Write this guy an email. Get a banner. You need to do it. Do it for your army. Not so much for yourself, but for your army. But yeah, it was a solid loss for me. I ended up getting 1,182 points out of him, and he got 1,581 out of me. So he solidly won this game, to say the least. Not like the 6-point victory I had last game, but a hell of a game, really was. I lost my Demon Prince, my BSB, both my chariots, my Warhounds, the Chimera, and about 2 pounds of pride. I weighed myself after this game, and I was 2 pounds lighter. Damn shame. He lost his Khorne and Nurgle warriors and his marauders. So basically, he had his characters and his trolls left. So I did definitely put a hurting on him, but just not enough. It was a fantastic game, though. Really enjoyed it. Couldn't make any of my saves, which really sucked towards the end there, but still, it was a fun game. Just 6 rounds of just win, pure win. I enjoyed it. That troll horde scares the hell out of me. I literally stay up nights thinking about how to deal with it. So, yeah. Troll hordes, if you take one, more power to you because, wow, they're difficult. And then the true upset, though, what really set the tempo for the game and really kind of disheartened me was when his Khorne warriors killed the Chimera and the chariot before they could do anything. I really didn't see that coming. I really didn't expect that. I believe that the game would have gone differently had my Chimera and chariot survived long enough and taken out that unit like I expected it to. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my strategy was screwed up. But that's the way I felt, and that's the way I'm going to stay. But, hindsight's 2020. Who knows what could have actually happened. But yeah, like I said, really, really fun game. Really can't wait for the rematch. I'm excited. It's always good to have a good challenge like that. And yeah, thanks for the game, buddy. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for watching. I know they're getting a little bit longer. I'm trying to add music and stuff like that. Just try it out. Let me know what you think. If it's stupid, I probably will stop doing the music thing. But I saw an opportunity to add a little production value, so I went for it. And if it sucks, then I'll stop. But yeah, any comments, questions, concerns, or complaints that you have, please leave them in the comment section below. And if they're any good, I will get to them and implement them. And if not, I will ridicule you mercilessly. No, I'm messing. But yeah, guys, thanks.